Good day and welcome to our explanation and demonstration of how to set up a full lab inside the Microsoft Azure cloud. We're going to create an account, we're going to create a Windows 2019 server, upgrade it to a domain controller, we're going to set up a Windows 10 PC, we're going to set up Bastion, we're going to tighten up the firewall, we're going to go over a whole bunch of little bits that you need to know as well. This is the sixth and last segment. Now let's roll through a few things, including resizing. So now that we have the boxes up and running and patched, and if you're just running a lab to goof around with it, well, maybe you don't need to spend as much money on this thing, so you can decrease it. And you can decrease it by going into size. So let's look at size, and you can say, yeah, I don't think I need that now. I'm going to jump it down to, I'm going to cut the price in quarter from 40 bucks to $10. I will change it to that one. Selecting resize, as it shows here, will cause the device to restart. So your Windows, that machine's going to go down and come back up. And of course, because it has far fewer resources, you can see here it's got about a quarter of the resources, maximum IOPS, 320 versus 1280, that it is going to probably take a minute to go down and come back. So let's keep moving through other things. Let's go to extensions. This is kind of interesting. So there are a number of plugins that you can get that you don't have to install manually. You can just jam them right in. Straight from the Azure system. So click Add here. The one I like to use is the SentinelOne security plugin because I use that in lots of with lots of my clients. But you can see there are other ones as well. And you click this and it will just install. The things that are interesting are things like Autoshutdown. Now that Windows 10 upgrade took so long, I had to change this. So you can see that there's a nice easy time for me to change. And I could set a notification if I wanted. I don't want at this point. Run command is kind of neat. This will do just what it says. Like, you can run a command on the machine. So let's run an ipconfig. Now I cut that out because that took a couple of minutes, which was longer than I would like, but I do want to just show you, there's the script, ipconfig all, and there's your information. Resource health, we've shown you this earlier, but you get an idea what's going on. It's being resized. Just a log, really, right? Nothing too interesting. Reset password I've used a few times. I create these virtual machines and I try to run different passwords and things, and it's quite easy to get confused as to which one's which because I'm doing these in a hurry. Yeah, this will just force an account for the administrator accounts, which is great. Really handy if you have forgotten something. And that's about it for that stuff. Back up at the top, though, there is something that's useful, which is the access control. So this is the new way Microsoft wants you to manage things. We're not going to spend time on it here other than to say this is where it is. You can assign different roles to different people, just like you can in Active Directory, and give them access. Now, one of the things I did want to go over, probably the last thing we'll go over before we wrap this up, is that you have noticed that you don't have to install a DHCP server on your domain controller, which is a bit odd for those of us that are used to being on-prem, or even, well, on-prem for sure, but even in the virtual world, we still install DHCP servers. And the reason for that, of course, is because we have networking handled by Azure itself. So you can go into networking and you can set your own firewall rules. Here, this is on this particular machine, but you can also go back to Home, go to Virtual Networks, click on your virtual network, and see your devices here, right? See the IP addresses? So this one, the 10.0.0.4, the DC, that is a static address. Again, we've clicked on it, gone into it, but let's click on this one, the PC, and we'll see that it is in fact a dynamic. Right, dynamic. Okay, nothing too interesting there, but you'd need to be aware of that if you're trying to build a lab. About the only thing that I've been really surprised at with this so far is, well, there's two things. One, you do not change IP information inside of the VMs. You just don't do it. You change it here. And the second thing is, I would expect that by now, when I'm joining a machine to a domain or when I'm installing a new machine, just the initial setup wizard in Azure would prompt me to say, do you want to just put this right into a domain? But it doesn't. You still have to go through, add the machine, start it up, patch it, then connect it to the domain, then reboot and go through the whole dance just as if it was physical, which is a bit odd for me. The last thing I will say is I do find it very odd that these machines are not better patched right out of the box. And I was giving that some thought as to why that could be, and I've done a little bit of reading on it. And I think it's because Microsoft is trying to simulate what's out in the real world. So when you're running your labs, if you need to test a machine that is 1803, we'll say, and without any patches on it, well, how do you do that? Well, now you can. You can do it this way. So there's a logic to that, I suppose. But anyway, that's it. If you have any questions or concerns, please get a hold of us at www.urtech.ca. We'll be very happy to help. Thank you. Bye-bye.